friends, family, and strangers. It's starting to sprinkle again out there, which means if it rains, if it pours, if this old man snores, the fine gentleman building that structure right across from me, right behind me, will have to take cover. And I don't know why, but all I'm saying is that's normally what they do when that happens. I thought you could do that framing and put that sheathing in place, even in the rain. But it's probably dangerous, right? That could mean I'm sure there's like a code, right? There's like a construction or building code that says, Joe ass, get off of a 3-story roof because there could be lightning strikes, or you could slip in wet material, the wet boards that you're on, you could just fall, and you do not want to fall from up there. Yesterday I was checking them out and someone stumbled up there and had to regroup, had to catch the footing. And I almost had a heart attack just watching, so I can imagine what they felt. But friends, family, strangers, you know what I literally did just now? There's some things I have to do after I walk through that door. Like, I got to go down to the lease office today. I actually have to sign a new lease. I did confirm through the emailing that I can pay month to month. That was something that I just wasn't sure, and the lease manager wasn't sure either, if I could get on here month to month. The reason I had trouble getting this place is because I couldn't go month to month because my credit is shat. From me owning that property and going about it poorly is why my credit is so scrooged up. So the option was for me to sign a lease, of course, if I could pay the full amount up front. So I was thinking, well, the only way I can do that, and you probably know this story, if not, that means you're new here. The only way I could do that was to sell my property, because then I would have the walking cash and the money to pay for a full lease up front, which I thought would have been 12 months. There's a video that I posted titled, "You mean I could have still got the apartment?" ? Because it had occurred to me that the lease manager and I, through conversations, I realized that she did mention at one point that they have 3-month leases. So I called her up and I said, you know how I have to pay the full lease up front because I am untrustworthy, my credit's bad, my change is strange, my cash is trash, my credit's pathetic, and my stack is whack? And she said, yes, but the battery of attorneys and legal defense team that exist right here in my brain brought something up to me today in a meeting. Didn't you mention a loophole where if I can't come up with the full year, because haven't sold my property yet, but I still want to get the fuck out of here. I need to be gone out of the property anyways, because the realtor just randomly shows the place without telling me what's going on because he's an asshat. But I haven't sold the place yet, so I don't have the money for the full year up front. But didn't you say something to the effect of the 3-month lease? She said, yeah. And I said, can I get in on a 3-month lease if I pay for that up front? I will just eat ramen noodles for the next 2 or 3 weeks and do absolutely nothing. At that point, I was so desperate to get out of that house. As you saw from my past videos, I was showering out of a bucket. I was showering at a truck stop. I was going down to the gas station to take a shite when I ran out of water on certain days. What I wanted most of all was this. A luxury that you are taking for granted. Shower out of a bucket that you had to fill up with water you had to drive down to a spring to collect. Do that for 6 years, like I did. And you'll never look at your sink or shower again. You just won't. Now, years ago, because I was fascinated with how that comes to be, I actually did a deep dive, personal study into the infrastructure of your plumbing and your septic lines. And it was pretty interesting if you're me. I don't think I ever made like a journalistic piece or a video about that because nobody gives a fuck except me. So there are nerds out there that are into it, and that's why there are books about it, one of which I bought. I think it's called On the Grid is the title. But I didn't read it all because the author just says, hey, I climbed down into my storm drain and just followed it, and here's what I found. Which is lazy because there's not much research. That's just going out and writing down what you saw. I can do that. Anyway, friends, I wanted to get out of there so bad. I needed to fucking figure it out. So I said, what about this 3-month option? And she said, yeah. And I said, can I, after that, after the 3 months is gone, can I resume normal life like any other of my neighbors here at the apartment? And can I pay monthly like anybody else? And she said, I'm not sure, but I'll ask. Fuck it. What do I have to lose? I wanted to get this house sold, but I didn't want to do it in a way to where it would land me homeless. And if you've watched my videos, you know that was a reality at one point because I got stuck into a spot that my realtor put me in that could have put me in a motel indefinitely, which would have been, I don't know. I would have left. I would have just went and lived under a fucking bridge before I would have stayed at that motel. Last night I looked in my old discard folder on the computer, which has just hours and hours of pictures and video. Sometimes I'm telling jokes there. Sometimes I have folders that are like a full movie I shot, literally, that has not seen the light of day yet. And I was looking through a lot of old clips about my old house, and I just get a sickening, nervous feeling in my stomach when I look at those old images because that property was a huge source of stress for me. And the only thing that stressed me out more than living on that piece of land was living in that motel for, what was it, 2-3 weeks? Whew. If you go back and look at that stuff right around that time, you can see that I was just trying to make the best of it, but living in hell, for lack of a better word. But anyways, I said, screw it. I couldn't do this anymore. I had to figure out how to get my ass in this apartment. For all things considered, I know that it's better to do a long-term roots in the ground investment on land. I get all that. Trust me. No one gets that more than me. I went to school for this shit. I went to school. I'm certified in real estate financing, real estate law, real estate principles and ethics, and there's a fourth one I don't even fucking remember. But went there, paid the money to be that student, to get those certifications, to be fully eligible to take the licensing exam to sell real estate if I choose. I did, bombed, never had an interest in coming back. Just like much of anything else I've done in my life, I just continue to stay interested in investing, and I tend to not fully dive into other business models. Anyways, biatch. I just figured it out. I figured out how to get in here on the 3 months. I had a loan from here, a loan from there. As soon as I sold the house, paid the loans off, we were good. I got in. There was literally a nervous uncertainty up until literally today of whether or not I could resume normal life like anyone else and pay monthly and be in a long-term lease and just kind of like rebuild my life, rebuild my finances, rebuild my brain and shit, rebuild my media content where I can travel and stuff and get back into somewhat of a norm, right? Yeah, that happened. Well, I did get an email confirmation saying, here's your new lease, sign it. The lease didn't, the link that was sent to me never actually worked. So I said, I'm just going to come down there and sign this bitch in person, which I'm pretty sure they have to pull it up on a computer anyway. She's probably just going to send me another link, and I'm going to do it on my phone in the email, but at least she'll be there when the link doesn't work this time, and they can figure it out. I guess. I don't know. I did not have a paper lease last time to sign. I highly doubt that's going to happen today. But anyways, I have to go down there. I thought she would just send another link, but she said, okay, see ya. It's hot, I'm fat, I'm old, I'm over it. I've been climbing up a mountain for the last 5-6 years with this piece of property. Then this move, it's like that last stretch up to the final summit was the hardest part, which was selling the place and getting this apartment and moving in all by myself. Everything in this apartment was hand placed by me, even that giant ass couch. This chair, one of the things I would really like to get accomplished today is bringing my big ass, heavy ass dresser up here by myself. I'm dreading it. I'm dreading going out that door. Anyways, before I forget to mention this, she did confirm that I could pay monthly and resume my normal life. Been waiting for that for a long time. That's literally the very last paragraph to the entire story. I'm done. This book is over. You've read the whole thing. Congratulations. Where do we go next? We have content of my life here. We have content of me traveling. But there's something else brewing. I literally can't tell you about it. There's a big content series coming up in a couple years that I am preparing for. Literally, I was up till about 2 a.m. Prepping for it. It involved much planning, much financial projections, and much looking at the map. And I'm not talking about a solo trip that starts here and ends here. I'm referring to a full-assed relocation far from the beautiful state of Ohio. That's all I'm going to say. Quit looking at me like that. I can't make eye contact with you right now because I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to look over here for a minute. I can't get into it right now because I don't have it all planned yet, and I don't have the dates yet locked in, and I don't have my investments fully matured to fund this change, this dream, this idea. So for the next few months, that's what you'll be seeing. We will carry on. We'll see some fun stuff. We'll check out some odd roadside attractions. We'll check out odd museums. We'll check out far and away places, but we'll be coming back here for a while. And then after that, we won't. Then after that, you'll be watching a cross-country moving video. Several of them on that journey. And I have funsies, stopsies along the waysies. I can tell you this, though. Where I'm going, I don't want to have a safety net. Whatever I run into, whatever challenges, whatever adventures, whatever lost at sea experiences I have, will be right here for the nation's consumption. That's how that's going to operate. Anyways, today I have to exit out that door, go into the heat, go down a bunch of steps, lift some heavy things, go sign some stuff, be presentable. I should probably put on deodorant. And I just don't want to. I literally procrastinated and did dishes for several minutes as a way to not leave. I don't want to carry the heavy trash bags down and put them in the dumpster. I don't want to go to my van and strap up the dresser and put it on the dolly and bring it up by myself. It's heavy. Like, what a great day to drop a dresser down 2 flights of steps. Might as well. I've been avoiding any and all productivity these last couple of days except for media arts work. I've done a lot of video projects these last few days. If I could just solely get paid for that and made plenty, I'd be like, hey, go get my dresser and bring it up. Friend, here's some money. But that's not my life. Yeah. So, I think I said all of that, wasted the last 16 minutes of your fucking life to tell you to gather your things and let's do it.
You're a loser.
No trip to the trash compactor would be complete without a solid look into what my neighbors have discarded in the bulk corral. There's a couch. There's a full-on couch right here. Huh. Whew. It is a hot beast outside. I just got back from the lease office. I just signed my life away for several more months. 15 months to be exact. So what day will that be?
2026.
September 2026. I could have done that math, but I'm lazy. You know, I live in an AI world. Why would I do that? Why would I use my brain when people who've already used their brains have set up machines so I don't have to use my brain no more? Duh. So, at the bare minimum, if I don't break my lease, I'll still be here. Going on September 2026. Speaking of my AI friend, I just set another reminder to tell me weekly when the lease expires so I can kind of keep it in mind. You just got to keep things in mind. That's all. Just keep it in mind. No big dealsker. Just keep it in mind. Okay, so that thing will tell me every week. I'll get a reminder. And while I set mine up to where it also texts me, because sometimes I like to think of myself as probably going to be on the road sometimes, so I like to get a little texter, you know what I mean? Like, I still haven't paid school district tax. Not because I'm avoiding it, I just keep forgetting all the time. I need to get on the H&R Cock and download this voucher, or not a voucher, but it's like it's kind of like a receipt, but it's not a receipt, it's just like a reminder, like, here's why you're receiving mail, and here's why you're receiving a check with it. That kind of thing. Anyways, yeah, unfortunately I have stuff to do outside today, and I'm not looking forward to it. And if you know me, you know there's a damn good chance that I'll get an item done, and the rest of the items get put up the touche. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I need to empty out my van, go to the storage unit. I also need to get dinner, breakfast, lunch combo meal for right now to eat to start the day out. And I also need bread. Really needing bread. So, a normal person would cook, eat, go, bring the stuff in from the van, run to the storage unit, buy a loaf of bread on the way back. But that's for a normal person. I think what I'll go ahead and do, since I'm a fucking genius, is I think I'll order DoorDash, throw more onto the tip for picking up a loaf of bread on the way here. Then, if I haven't talked myself out of it, then I'll empty the van and go to the storage unit. I think I'll sit here and watch a movie while I wait for my din to show up. My breakfast, lunch / dinner combo pack. I can't even remember what movie I just got done selecting and put in the DVD player. But Something tells me I'll find out here. I could get up and look, but nah. All of a sudden it'd be a surprise. I think I'm getting early onset Alzheimer's menches or something. I'm hungry and sleepy. If you were here right now, would you make me a fucking sandwich and bring it to me with your boobs out, please? I'd appreciate it. Getting ready to watch a movie called Pet. It's about a kidnapping. Dude locks a chick up in the cage and stuff. I seen it a long time ago, but I put it up here on the watch again list. Watch soon list so I could try to remember what happened in the story. I think she tricks him into letting her go, or she somehow traps him in the cage or something like a German Shepherd. I don't remember. But it said the movie's rated R for graphic violence, language, and brief sexuality. Brief sexuality? I guess my life would be rated R then. My sexuality's been very brief lately. Dude's a creeper. He's got to go down to his job at a dog pound, and he's got to ride the city bus to and from work. That would make me feel like I was back in school. That'd be scary. But it would be kind of nice not to have to worry about driving. However, I kind of love driving. You go around, do whatever the fuck you want all the time and shit. The only bad thing about driving yourself to work rather than taking the bus is there's no women to hit on like this guy's doing on the bus on the way home now in the beginning of this movie. It's probably the same chick he's about to put in a cage, I'm guessing, which is not nice to do, okay? The same dude is bringing my DoorDash order up here to the apartment. The same one as literally 9 out of 10 times it's that same dude. I know his name. I know what he looks like. I should start talking to him when he comes up. He comes up here to my place on average, what is it, 4 or 5 times a week? On average, probably 4 times a week, because it's like every other day, but there's always a double in there somewhere because I'm fat and lazy and stupid and like to waste my money. But yeah, it's the same dude, so I'm excited because I know it'll actually show up. When it's another name, I panic because I've had them bring it to the wrong ass neighbor. And I don't. Last time that happened, I did not go find it. I probably talked about it in the video or something, but if I didn't, I don't remember if I vlogged it or not. But once upon a time, ordered some Bob to the Evans. Some guy who wasn't my normal guy brought it here to the apartment complex, brought it up to someone with the same apartment number. The only problem is a whole ass different building. I did not go get it because that's not what I paid for. So I just reordered it and they refunded it and placed the order again. A different person brought it to the right door, the second remake. And then like an hour later, my neighbor brought my original order to my door and set it down. Which I did not eat because it had sat out and who knows what happened to it for an hour. If I had a dog, I'd have been like, hey, doggy, here's the poison. Enjoy the food. But anyways, I feel like I should get cash next time I'm at the store and they say, do you want cash back? And leave like a cash tip or hand my guy some money. Because he's like my trusted DoorDash guy now. If you have your own DoorDash guy, that is clear, undeniable proof that you are a fucking tank ass like me and need to get out and grow your vegetables and do your own cultivatings and stuff instead of ordering your food from a recliner chair, you fat prick. Some rando sent me a picture of her with a messy bun on. I sent her one back. She said, you got a nice beard going. You caught me on my messy bun day. And I said, I'd like to get my hands on them buns. I mean, that messy bun. And I sent her one of these winker emojis. Winker and the pinker. And she texted back. Because that's a risky move to say to the chick, you know what I mean? But it worked this time. She texted back and she goes, "Trust me, I got plenty of buns for both of your hands." Instant boner, dude, when she texted me that. Yeah, instant boner. Put the leg up there. So I texted her back and I said, "Trust me, I got something that's plenty for both of your hands, too." But we're not allowed to talk about that. You're still stranger danger. I gotta trick you into catching all kind of feelings for me now. Texting your grandma's been so much fun. I love it. Like I done told you, the same motherfucker 9 out of 10 times delivers my DoorDash to me. I only got one problem with this guy. Only one. Love him, because I know it's him, so I know my shit's going to get here. The only problem I have with this guy is that he drops the food off, and I watch him through the peeper, so I know this. He drops the food off at the door, and then he takes a picture of it, but as he's taking a picture of it, he walks backwards the whole time. And it's just a matter of time before that foot drops down over that front step and his ass goes flying down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. He's like going to fall down the steps one day doing that. And that scares me. But that's kind of why I look through the peeper every time I'm expecting him, because when it happens, I'd kind of like to see it. Got my food. The dude came through. I ordered a taco bowl with a side of rice. But that side of rice was gigantic, so it's kind of like a bonus second meal. Fuck it. They even threw in some sour creams and lettuces in there too. I just heard, with my own ear, listening to the news, that the prosecutor in P. Diddy's sex trafficking trial just finished presenting evidence, a process that took 6 weeks. If the judge and jury just got done listening to 6 weeks worth of evidence against you, freak off or no freak off, lube or no lube, you're fucked. There's something weird about eating a huge meal. It makes me have to pee. I don't know why that is. You ever seen Japanese Toilet in South Park? It's like season 25 or 26. It's the latest season that's complete that you can buy. Fucking, I don't know if there's a current season on the air right now, but there's an episode called Japanese Toilet. It's pretty funny. I fall asleep listening to it almost every single night. I'll be right back. Hang on. I think YouTube listens to what I talk about because they suggest shit that I've been talking about. They showed me a DoorDash altercation video up in Vancouver. There was a Dash driver who dropped off some shit and got a tip on the app, but he came back the next day. Look it up. It's in the Library of Congress. Wouldn't lie to you. Oh, I got an itch on the pit. Itch in the pit. Oh, that's a weird itch. Oh, got an itch on. Okay. There was a Dash driver up in Vancouver's who dropped shit off last night and then came back the next morning knocking on the door saying, "Hey, bitch, I want my cash tip." And the chick said, "There ain't no cash tip. I tipped you on the app, fucker." So her dad stepped around the corner, tussled with the guy, and felt a gun in his back pocket, pulled it out like this, and fucking shoved the dude down onto the ground, pointed his own gun right at his fucking temple, dude. He's like, "You might be in your best interest. Get the fuck out of here." That literally happened. Look it up. But the thing that got me was, fuck all that. The thing that got me was the news that reported this reached out to DoorDash, reached out to DoorDash, and DoorDash said, quote, "We have zero tolerance for harassment of any kind. The Dasher in question has been deactivated." And I thought, man, we live in some weird times. I remember when you fucked up on your job, you got a thing called fired, motherfucker. Now you get deactivated. Holy fuck, boys. That means things are wrapping up when they start throwing stuff away. They drop those pieces of sheathing off the third, fourth floor up there, up on the ref. Then toward the end of the day, they pick it all up. See, if it was me, I would just wait until the project's done, then pick a couple pieces of that up each day as I'm living there. But these guys aren't fucking lazy procrastinators like I am. Well, since they're done fucking around, I guess I'll go outside and get my nightstand and bring it up. That's going to be my big task for the day. They might be building a 3-story building, but hey, I got nightstands to bring up to the apartment and put beside my bed. Now that seems, it's going to be a pretty tough thing that I'm trying to accomplish, alright? Alright, I brought this up. This here's one of my prize repressions. Look at that. Technically, this is called a craft cart. You're supposed to put like scissors, construction paper, buttons, thread, yarn, samples, whatever the fuck else. But I kind of use it as an office cart. Look, you can put all your important papers in there. Hell, put your cup of coffee on there. I might just use it as my walker. I think that cart needs to go right there. Won't really let me close the door in that case, but fuck it. Here's the before shot. Let's see. All right. I also had this already in, and I thought there was stuff in these boxes, but there is not. I used this and these quite intensely when I was unhoused for a while before we started doing a daily, before I got that apartment, the other apartment. I'm putting these in different spots just to drive you bananas. I'm doing that on purpose, just to fucking piss you down. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I don't really, I was surprised that all these are empty, because I thought, I had still had stuff being stored in there. But nope, I guess fucking not. Pretty badass suitcase full of stuff you need. This was just a random Walmart purchase. It was sticking out, peeking out from around the corner in the craft section. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I think I bought 2 that day and gave one to a chick, if I remember right. And I said, this just screams your sewing room. And gave it to her. Maybe not. Maybe I dreamt that part. Shit. But look. All my important drawers and nothing to put in them. This is fucking bullshit. This fucking Spider-Man right here makes me nervous. I was just watching him. And he came to the front real fast. Without slowing down. It made my nervous rush go through. Look how close he's getting to the fucking edge. He should have a cable in case he does fall. I can see it on him, but still, holy shnikes. You don't want to fall and rely on that cable. It could fail. What the fuck? You're supposed to like hang on for dear fucking life or stand on those raptors down there and reach over, give it a little reach around and nail gun those in that away. But his response would be, quit being a pussy, just get in there and do the job already. These guys are hardcore as fuck. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Sorry, I had to take a break to text this teacher back that I've been chatting with. She's a teacher, right? Oh, I work so hard to teach my kids this curriculums. I said, I'm sorry, but we're not even 20 years away from schools becoming testing centers. There ain't no teacher or in-person classroom on the planet that can teach better than websites and AI that use specific algorithms specifically for each individual user's learning style. It ain't possible. think about like how Facebook uses all your preferences and caters directly to you and gets you to steer down a certain rabbit hole. That's just the fucking tip of the iceberg, dude. And it ain't a bad thing, I don't think. Most employers do not even require a high school diploma these days. It's the truth. I've seen it myself. Hire first, then place on jobs, then educate on their own company website, skills training, and I'm talking K through 12 skills, reading, math, whatever, to get you into other roles they have for you. They don't need you to have a high school diploma. They can hire anybody right off the fucking rip, dude. Okay? And then make you into something if you want to stay there and work it out. You know what I'm saying? I think we're just a few years away from an administration that doesn't even require attendance in school, because that's going to be followed by like 10 straight years of a culture that's different from when I was a kid. I'm pretty sure we're right around the corner from students that won't even give a fuck what their GPA is, because their parents and their friends' parents and all that, they work at a company that taught them everything they needed to know. And when they get out of school, they get online and learn specific things they want to learn anyways. If a little kid wants to be a fucking heart surgeon, he can go to school and learn pre-algebra. Then he's going to go home and he's going to study interactively with an AI computer how to fucking give heart surgery. And that full program that him and his family pays for, or her and her family pays for, whatever the fuck, that full program is paid for by the individual user or their parents or whoever. So they already have everything they need to know to knock out a high school aptitude test or a college CCATS, whatever it's called, MCATS test and all that shit. Because AI and websites and training companies, they're not going to, you going to school is going to be fucking left in the dust. School is when someone writes a book, that knowledge is adopted into a curriculum by somebody up in the fucking White House, and then a teacher performs with creativity in front of a group of pupils to try to get them to retain that information. You don't need that anymore. Not with the internet, not with self-paced algorithms that utilize your own learning style. It's just like when you sit down and talk to a shrink. That shrink is trying to get you to a certain place of health, but they use your personality to get you there and what they know. They don't just say, all right, here's what you're going to do. Do they? No. They ask you questions about who you are and what you're going to be improving in, and they build on your skills and improve upon your weaknesses. And then they get you to where they need you to go. And by the end of it, you succeeded, right? A teacher can't do that. Not in front of only a one-on-one teacher, but they're not trained really to go with build upon the student's strengths and go from there. Okay? I'm trying not to turn this into a rant, but it's so good, ain't it? It's fucking the truth. You can deny it all you want. The only reason you're denying it is because you're a teacher, probably. So if I sat a student down for tutoring because they were shitty in math, I wouldn't just say, all right, this problem, this is how this works. That ain't how it works. You have to ask that student what they know and what they know easily. Like, what is it easy for you to remember? And how did you learn that? And what made you remember that? Do you remember when that was taught to you? What specific thing? And keep in mind, we're talking about somebody on an IEP. See, I know a lot about this. Linda McMahon don't know shit compared to me, dude. I fucking wrote the book on the book. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. DuggaloNation.com. Greatest website on earth, or at least it will be one day. The computer's down there. But I have an HDMI splitter coming off of it. One goes to here, and where does the other one go? Let's see. I've been productive. Look. I've already had this rigged up, but it was all loosey-goosey, just kind of laying all over the place. The HDMI cable goes all the way around the room. I would like snug it up along the base or across the top, but I can't because I don't own this place. I can't punch a bunch of holes in the fucking walls with tacks and everything. So I just kind of laid it snugly in certain places. Look, I needed the closet to be like the extra bulk storage of the snuggle room. So if you just took a pair of scissors and chopped any one of these layers, it would fuck it up. But look, here it goes. I took the zip ties and snugged it up nice and tight, just like your mother. That way it's not all hanging on the floor and I don't trip over it when I'm drunk. It goes all the way out here to the Livington. Look, nice and snug, baby. You get the point by now, don't you? And ta-da! Whatever's on the computer can also be enjoyed right out here. Like maybe dwarf porn or whatever, right out here while you're on the couch getting the beads. You can just enjoy a little entertainment. You know what I mean? Maybe you want to read the site. The Duggalo Nation mother shit. Right here. What else is I going to say? Oh, fuck it. Now it's going to the screensaver. What's the first picture it's going to throw up? Bring it, baby. 3 roadside oddities of Dublin. And you might be thinking to yourself, only a jackass would put their own image on their computer's screensaver. That's not why I did it. I set it up that way because a lot of times I'm shooting video and the computer's on or whatever, and I don't want like personal images going clear out all over the world. See, you might think this is my home, but actually it's not. This is just a stage for Duggalo Nation videos. It's a set, is what it is. Just take a look. Look, I got the stereo set up. I'm going to put one of the speakers up there and the other one right beside it there. And I got her plugged in. I got some CDs downstairs in the fucking garage, and we are just partying. But I wanted to tell you also, the computer that is in the other room, split image here and there, but what you don't know is I can move this table and put it there, and I can bring the wireless keyboard and mouse out here and run the computer out here if I want. You know, if dinner time turns into video editing time or whatever, and I don't feel like maybe I still got some dinner left I want to eat while I start my work or whatever the case. Isn't that beautiful? Fucking being productive today. Isn't that beautiful? And now on to the next order of business. Here is your before picture. I'm going to attempt to assemble that plastic garage shelf right here in my home office. Because, you know, I got fucking boxes like that and shit that need to go on it and whatever. A thing of pure beauty. I think she turned out okay. I'll put my vinyl record player on there and maybe a couple wooden crates up there or something with some CD storage capacities, and we'll just have a good old fucking time. Maybe I'll put like I don't know. Fuck, we'll see. Fuck it. Do you remember how I told you a few mementos ago that I told that teacher that I was talking to, just in my opinion, the future of her career? Yeah, for some weird reason, she has not responded to me back at all. Kind of like when I told that cop that I will go after an officer's qualified immunity if they create a Terry stop for no reason. That chick stopped responding to me altogether as well. But anyways, back to the teacher. Here's what the actual text message to her read. So she was talking to me about how she's a teacher and how she wants to advance in the school board and things like that. And all I did was give an honest opinion on the topic that we were discussing. And here's what my text literally reads. I'll read it directly to you for Rilsky. I said, more and more employers don't even require a diploma these days. That's because of the internet. You can get online at many companies and learn K through 12 skills. I've watched it myself. Hire first, place on a job, then educate to fit other needed roles. Most millionaires do not have a college degree, and most billionaires don't have a high school diploma. I predict that kids of the near future will take no interest in their GPA or diploma, but will only go to school because it is legally required. It is legally required, followed by an administration that will remove the K through 12 attendance requirement. What I'm saying is that's going to happen first, and then even the attendance requirement's not even going to need to be there. Just in my humble opinion, that is what I predict. Then I said, I bet we are not even 20 years from that. That's because every family will put their children and adults on self-paced education programs on the internet, and teachers in classrooms won't be able to stand up to how good certain websites and AI can teach. There is no in-person classroom that can teach better than an interactive, self-paced education program that follows an algorithm specifically designed for each participant's learning style. Schools of the future will simply become testing centers. This was not meant to be an argument. All I did was respond with what was on my mind, given the subject matter, but many people would call that a mic drop moment. In this case, it was, not because I needed to end the debate, because there was no debate, but in this case, it still was a mic drop moment because nobody else has picked up the mic since. That chick has decided, much like that cop that day, to not speak another word to me. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to be honest. If someone told me their personal opinion about the uncertainty of my career field or my lifestyle field or whatever, I wouldn't ghost them. Whether I agreed or not, I would be thankful that someone was willing to be honest and that they did so in a respectful, human being type way. Basically, when you get belligerent and use profanity and call someone names or threaten hostility or violence on them, that's when I zone out. But you can tell me anything you want if you just do it in a civilized manner. That's all. Another lady bounced out of my life. Burnt a bridge, just for being honest. Even if I disagree with something you say, like I said, I'm going to appreciate the honesty. But let's say I did agree, I would appreciate it more, and I would use that as advice, and I would be proactive about what if this person was right, and I would take a step to secure my future. That's all. Why is everybody so sensitive? It's just called an opinion. Oh, wait a minute. Is that because I made so much fucking sense to a person who denies reality? All right, next order of business. One of the items that has been brought up to the apartment from the garage today is my miniature suitcase from American Tourister. Now, here's what you need to know about most suitcases. If you put Christmas decorations in them, they get glittery. So I need to use the vacuum and get that glitter out there. But look, I installed a key ring onto this zipper. Now, most suitcases have this lining. This is a lining, and you can unzip that lining and do like mold tests, clean it out if there's anything in there. But here's what you should really use this lining for, and here's the reason I put a pulley on it to open that zipper up to access the outside material. When you're on vacation and you have clothes in your suitcase, what do? You wear your clothes and they get dirty. So just tuck dirty clothes on the inside, on the underside of this lining, then zip it back up. That way you never put on your dirty clothes when you're on vacation. And by the end of your vacation, this lining will be full of dirty clothes, okay? And then there'll be like one pair of socks left or whatever, and you'll know that all the stuff on the other side of the lining needs to be washed. A travel tip from your Uncle Doug. You're welcome. and appreciative bastards. Look, you think you moved into a new place, but you haven't until your lens cleaner wipes are in a drawer and all stacked up really nice. Isn't that cute? Whatever. Fuck it. Moving is fun. Look what I found in one of my moving boxes. This little miniature phone. Look at that. Look how tiny this little cell phone is. I plugged it in. I want to see if there's any MP3s or old videos or anything on it. There could be a hilarious clip on that thing that could make a big feature on the channel. For all we know. Probably not. There's probably not fuck all on there, but... Let's see how much charge this bad boy's got on it now. 13%. It's fired up. See what she does. LG, life's good. Look at this tiny little smartphone. I don't remember at all what I ever used this for. I don't know how long it's been. Nothing. Oh, cool. Look at that. I like that slow Verizon swoosh load or whatever the fuck that check mark is. Decent. I should shut the lights off in this room. I don't know what password I would have used. Apparently I don't need one. Let's see. The Unblock Me free game. Let's play us a game. Play. Relax mode. See what we got. We need this to go through that hole, I think. I vaguely remember this game, but let's see. How the fuck do you get this? I have no idea what we do. Let's see. That's out of the way. Got it, baby. Undefeated champion. Look at this old text I found. Attention, your account has expired. Please call *611 from your wireless phone to make a payment and save your mobile number. Oh, I bet this fucking number's long gone by now. Eat shit. Eat shit, I told him. So, I don't remember this phone or why I had it, but I'm willing to bet anything the reason I kept the phone was just in case there's music on here or to use it as a camera in the future. Did I have any old calendar events from 2009? Any saved pictures on here? Nope. She's dry as a fucking bone, boys. What else? Any music? I don't know if I can... There's music right there. Nope. No files. Shit. Let's see if this is... Got a nice camera on it. Look at that. Ooh, look, there's my hallway. Let's switch it to video camera mode. There it is. Video camera. Test it out. Hey, everybody. There's my computer. There's me on the computer. There is no way to front face this because there is no front facing camera on this old smartphone. Let's see how this video turned out. Hey everybody. There's my computer. There's me on the computer.
It's safe to say that smartphones have come a long way, and I'm assuming they will continue to do so. This is Doug Crabtree with Juggalo Nation Media News.
All right. It has been properly placed into a sandwich bag, wrapped in its own sandwich bag so it doesn't get scratched up, because it is in there with its charger. And it will now be placed back into cameras and such. Found my old keyring necklace. And these on the back of my neck is cold as shit, so I'm going to take it off now. Check this out. The record player back in action. I have it on the stereo right now. 103.8. That is a kind of like a 90s country station. I can't even fucking believe FM radio is even a thing still. Can't even believe it. But look, this takes USB, everything. And it plays vinyl records, baby. Like right now I have this locked in place, but while I was moving, it was not locked in place, and it was like that when I found it. Fuck, I hope that needle's not ripped up and shit, but I guess we'll see. Time will tell. I learned my lesson. I'll tell you what, while I still have about 2% of give a flying fuck left in me, I think I'll go outside and do something productive. I'll either bring my nightstand up or maybe at least get my nightstand moved into the garage and then come up with like a tote box of something that I need. I don't know. What I'd like to find, believe it or not, is my Bible of all things. I am a Christian, despite the comedy I try to make, despite the entertainment I try to put out. Some people think I am this insane person who has no fucking soul because I fart and tell jokes on the shitter, but that's not true, okay? Yeah. Anyways, it'd be nice to bring something up from the garage because I feel like every box has something. Every time I open a new box or a tote, I'm like, there it is. I could have used that this whole time. All right, new rule of the house. Don't leave without the garage clicker and something in your hand like this that needs to go in the garage. And don't return without something in your hand from either the van or the garage. All right, remember how I told you the nightstand and or the dresser might come up today? Well, that's not necessarily true, but the nightstand did make it from the van to the garage. And then I brought up these things. This will come in really handy when I need to add something to the wall of shame. So I'm going to stick this in here. There you go. What every pantry should have, a little step ladder. And since I did plug in my stereo today, I thought I would bring up a handful of CDs. I can already see my wife right here, Alessia Cass, For the Love of Ray J. Hey, my friends make fun of me, but I like Ray J. Fuck them, they don't know nothing. Korn, Greatest Hits. Can't go wrong with some Korn. Elvis Live, baby. Live in Madison Square Garden. Bad Company. Dun 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 dum 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 dum. I saw Roger Taylor. Is that his name? No. Paul Rogers. I saw Paul Rogers perform some Badco hits with Queen, What Remains of Queen, a long time ago in Cleveland. It was awesome, dude. Macy Gray's I Try to Say Goodbye and I Choke. I try to walk away and I stumble. Digital Underground. I think there's a few Digi Undergrounds in here. Salt and Pepper. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it, Or is that the wrong band? Am I thinking of the wrong band? There's Shoop, Ba-Doop, Ba-Doop, but I don't know. Kid Cock. Kid Rockin' on the Cockin'. There's System of a Down. Here's another System of a Down right there. This is just in one little thing. I have like 8 of these with CDs in them. Electric Light Orchestra. I don't even know what they sound like. I don't believe I've ever actually listened to that. Or that one, Bob Marley. LL Cool J, because I can't go anywhere without my radio. Here's an audio book, Tom Clancy's Victor Hugo, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's a commitment. If you listen to this audiobook, you are committed, because that's a lot of listening. Marvin Gaye. Here's another System of a Down. Another Bad Company. Another Digital Underground. Houdini. Friends. How many of us have them? Let's be friends. Ones we can. Blues Traveler. The Hook brings me back. I can't tell you no lie. Many Faces of Metallica. Mixmaster Mike. There's a few Metallicas in here. Master of Puppets, Kill 'Em All, and Reload. I like Kill 'Em All because it has Hit the Lights. Hit the lights. Kid Rock. Here's another System of a Down. System of a Down. Rob Zombie. There's really only one thing you can say when you see a Rob Zombie album, and that is, who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead? Ronnie James Dio. Alice Cooper. Did you know Alice Cooper just released a brand new album? And here's another, same album they ain't been opened of. LL Cool J. As the time-lapse video will show, today was the day. They mostly finished up the front part of the sheathing on the roof. That is the panel boards that, what is it, plywood? Yeah, the plywood sheathing. And soon there will be the finishing, the shingles on the roof, siding, and all that fun stuff. Windows will go in. It'll be hard to capture like the rest of everything on time lapse, because I've noticed from watching the other buildings back here getting built, windows and the brick facade and stuff like that, they go on in like little chunks. There'll be like a little section of the building that gets worked on for about 3 hours, and that crew goes away. So yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? Kind of hard to explain, but anyways, I still can't get over my lovely view of the airport search beacon. That's what I call it anyways. I still can't get over my view of that going away. Well, that is going to do it for this wee old video. It is time once again to pack up this campsite, piss on this fire, and head back to the wee old apartment. We are still getting out on the road soon. I meant it when I said it. There's been a couple hiccups just because I've had stuff to do. Or there's been days where I'm stuck in that chair, depressed, filled with the blah, and it's hard to fucking move. If you don't have any depressing days, then you may not understand, but if you have, then you totally get what I mean, where it's like, I could do laundry, I could work on something, or I could continue to pretend I don't feel the way I feel and just kind of shrink in. And I've had a couple of those days lately. It's embarrassing to say, but it's the fucking truth. So I'm trying to get out of that slump, trying to move forward. This thing called life, I just can't handle it. This thing called life, I must get around to it. I kind of don't like it right now. This crazy little thing called my life. All right, anyways, you be good. Go back to your room, play with your toys. I am going to get this video out to you, and then, what is that? What is that? A little eye tag, dude. Oh, man. And then, yeah, I think we're good to sleep this one off after that. But I'll be back again, no matter what. 7 a.m., 7 days a week, tomorrow morning, like usual. But until then, please, for the love of all sweet breakfast meats, don't be a stinky, hot, sticky douche.